Satyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nishtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Namaha Pankajanabhaya Namaha Pankajamalini Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangriye Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Srimad Gopishwaram Vande Shankaram Karunamayam Sarvakleshaharam Devam Vrindaranya Ratim Pradam. Hare Krishna. So thank you so much everyone for joining. We are reading Granth-raj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 7. Lord Shiva saves the universe by drinking poison. So just a quick background. We have read till text number 36. And now Lord Shiva, who is very, very compassionate, full of ocean of mercy. So the demigods have expressed their interest that Lord Shiva help us out with this halahal poison. They glorified Lord Shiva with wonderful verses. Now Lord Shiva is disturbed to see the suffering of others. That's the point we were focusing yesterday. And also one more important point actually, which we learned, that everyone tried to express prayers to the, according to their abilities. His Grace Gopeshwar Prabhuji was mentioning in today's class that actually we should try to do beyond our abilities. Little bit beyond, like as we discussed, like little bit try to go out of our comfort zone. And he gave a very nice example and I really liked it. Because if we are doing something in our comfort zone only, then means we don't take shelter of the Lord. That means we take more shelter of my abilities. For example, if I say I have to distribute 10 books. Okay, I know I have this friend here, he will probably take 2 books. I have this friend, he will take 2 books. I'll give 2 books to him, 2 books to him, and then done. Ho gaya. 10 books, ho gaya. This is just an example. But if I say, again, 10 could be big for someone and 1,000 could be less for someone. It's all relative. But the point is that we should try to struggle for doing better. Try to meditate upon doing better. And he gave a very nice point. Mata Yashoda purchased anxiety for Kṛṣṇa. She purchased anxiety for Kṛṣṇa. So when we do chinta about Kṛṣṇa and devotional service, that becomes chintan. Otherwise, everyone will do what? Materialistic chinta. Oh, how will I get a new job? How will I get an increment in my salary? How will I get this? How will I get that? This. Ultimately, keep on struggling, keep on suffering. But when the same chinta is dovetailed to serve Kṛṣṇa, that is basically meditating upon Kṛṣṇa, service, devotion, etc. And that basically we can purchase Kṛṣṇa by that. So we should always try to do little extra than what, and then we will take shelter. Lord, I don't think I can do it. Only you can help. Like how Prabhupada was praying that Kṛṣṇa, you are sending me here. I don't know, have any contacts, no people, no nothing, no resource. Only you can help. So that will lead to our dependence more on the Supreme Lord. So just start to share a quick point before we move forward. So now let's see the compassionate nature of Lord Shiva and what he spoke to his eternal consort Mata Sati or Parvati. So this is the text number 37. Shri Shiva Uvacha Aho Bata Bhavani Etat Parjananam Parjanam Prajanam Pashya Vishasham Shirodamatthano Adbhutat Kalakutad Upasthitam. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Shiva said, "My dear Bhavani, just see how all these living entities have been placed in danger because of the poison produced from the churning of the ocean of milk." So, quite straightforward. The husband is discussing with his wife before, coming to some conclusion. So the demigods shared this, help us out, and now he is discussing with his dear wife Bhavani, referring to the wife of Lord Shiva. So let's see. I mean, it's quite straightforward. He's just describing the situation. So we can continue to move on.
Text 38. Asam prana paripsunam vidhiyam abhayam hime etavan hi prabhorartho yaddina paripalanam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. It is my duty to give protection and safety to all living entities struggling for existence. Certainly, it is the duty of the Master to protect his suffering dependents.
Hare Krishna. So again, quite straightforward that it is the duty of the master to protect the suffering dependents. Ultimately, Lord Shiva is often addressed as Jagat Guru or Char Achar Guru or the father of the whole world. We read that in the previous verses also. So this also shows that that a leader should try to protect the dependents. And everyone is leader in some way or the other. It's not that the country's head is the leader. We are all leaders in some or other capacity, as a father, as a husband, as some congregation or in office or so. And even in the Bhagavatam says that one should not become mother, father, guru, teacher, etc. if one cannot take the responsibility of delivering na mochayetya samupetya mrityum, of delivering one's dependence. So again, being a leader is no easy position. Being in the position of guru is very, very difficult actually, because the guru takes the suffering of the dependence. The guru takes the reactions in the process of initiation. When diksha happens, guru accepts, okay, whatever past is past. From today, you are taking a new spiritual birth. So basically, Guru accepts. But that does not mean that the disciple should commit more bad things and cause suffering for the Guru. So let's see how he took the suffering of his dependents. Text number 39. Someone who has not read this week, any verse if you have not read the whole time. Yes, Moksha.
I can. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Nityam, you can read the next one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Prane save pranin panti sadhava kshana bhan gure baddha vereshu bhuteshu mohiteshvatvama mamayaya. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. People in general, being bewildered by the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are always engaged in animosity towards one another. But devotees, even at the risk of their own temporary lives, try to save them. This is the characteristics of a Vaishnava. Pure Dukhala Dukhi. A Vaishnava is always unhappy to see the conditioned souls unhappy. Otherwise, he would have no business teaching them how to become happy. In materialistic world, people most certainly engage in the activities of animosity. Materialistic life is therefore compared to samsara davanala, the blazing forest fire that automatically takes place. Lord Shiva and his followers in the parampara system try to save people from this dangerous condition of materialistic life. This is the duty of the devotee following the principles of Lord Shiva and belonging to the Rudra Sampradaya. There are four Vaishnava Sampradayas, and the Rudra Sampradaya is one of them because Lord Shiva, Rudra, is the best of the Vaishnavas. Vaishnavam Yatha Shambhu. Indeed, as we shall see, Lord Shiva drank all the poison for the benefit of humanity. So, in this, it is said that people who are the bhakta, who are the devotees, who are the Vaishnavas, are always happy because they are Sri Krishna, because they are the disciples of Sri Krishna. But when they see the people who are bound with the materialistic nature or the goddess of of Maya, they are not very happy to see them because they think like they must also be here in the Guru Parampara and they must also be happy and do seva of Sri Krishna, and they are not doing so. So a Vaishnava is always unhappy to see other people unhappy, and that is why the concept of preaching is so important, because by preaching only the people can get towards the seva of the Lord. And culture, Lord Shiva is considered to be the Shiromani in the Vaishnavas. So the Rudra Sampradaya is one of the important Sampradayas. As we can see that Lord Shiva, for the sake of protecting other devotees of the Lord, he drank poison so that the other devotees are not harmed. So as this is the guna, this is the character of a pure devotee. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, back to you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Let's discuss this point. If you see, this was brought up in today's morning class. If you see someone on the road and a speeding truck is coming, okay, so you are seeing that person is about to get struck with the truck, and there are a few people who are just watching this whole thing. Maybe that person on the road is blind, he can't see, okay, or that person is unconscious or whatever, he is unaware that the truck is coming, but the people on the other side, on the sides of the road, are aware that the truck is coming. So if they don't take any action, what will be your thoughts about those people? Anyone would like to say? What will be your thoughts? Let's take few answers here. And do you get the situation? The truck is coming, and the people are just some people are just watching.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, please tell.
Prabhuji, though through my eyes I'll see that it's all normal because it normally happens. But in my heart I'll feel like that these are senseless people and these don't have sense. Anyone, no one will, like take initiative even to call the ambulance after the accident, or before the accident. Nobody will try to even help the person to cross the road and something like that. But
Because let's
on
take this the key adjective. You're saying they're senseless people. Okay, that's the words I'm looking for. What will be your thoughts about those people? Okay, any other thoughts?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Anyone else? What will be your in your mind?
They're not sensible if they don't help.
They're not sensible. Okay, anyone else?
They are ignorant people and selfish people.
Ignorant, selfish. Anyone else?
Hard-hearted.
Hard-hearted. Yes. Patthar hriday. Right. Anyone else?
They're not able to see Krishna in others' hearts.
Prabhuji is transcendental.
No, of course. I'm trying to, get something else which devotees did not tell.
This you're talking about a very general situation. This is
Oh, got it.
what else?
They don't have humanity.
They don't have humanity. All these answers are correct. Hard-hearted, selfish, ignorant. So basically, a devotee does not mean just busy with one's own. Oh, I'm doing my chanting. I'm doing my reading. That's all that I care about. That's not bhakti. Our movement is not the Bhajananandi movement. And if we don't try to reach out, we will see our heart will become hard. Or we have to become soft-hearted. Paradukha dukhi. Seeing the pain of others, a devotee feels a lot of compassion and wants to do something about it. Not just watch that episode. Not just watch people suffering in the lap of ignorance. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that why are there so many atheists in the world? Who is to be blamed? The Vaishnavas are to be blamed because we're not reaching out enough. So that means that we should try our best to reach out and get out of the comfort zone to help others. And what is the topmost help? To share Krishna consciousness. That is the solution to all problems. That is the topmost charity. That is the topmost gift. And we see that in the Bhagavatam also, so many episodes. The Dichi Muni gave up his body to help. Shivi Maharaj gave up his body, was about to chop off his head to protect the birds. So many examples are there, so many examples. And even in the, even if you forget about Krishna consciousness, forget about ISKCON, forget about the bhakti principle. Even in general life, they say that people who are too much obsessed in their own life, in their own, I, me, and mine, aham, mamiti, they are not happy people. This is scientific research. The people who try to extend beyond their own, limited so-called circle, and then they try to see what's going on outside the world. I'm crying, oh, my salary is X and someone's salary is 2X. But there are thousands of people who don't have food to eat. And I'm crying about my little salary. Or I'm crying about my home is not as big as someone else's home. But there are thousands and millions of people sleeping on the streets. Then if we get out of our comfort zone, then we will see what's going on outside the world. And then we should try to train our kids also in that spirit. Not just try to give what they want. And I shared a beautiful video. I'm not sure if you saw that, the conversation between Dronacharya and Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna says to Dronacharya, how it's in Hindi, for most people understand that, that how he gave him things, but he didn't give him values. So basically trying to get out of our comfort zone and help others. That is, in helping others, we will feel blissful, because that's the real nature of the soul, to serve others, to live a life of gratitude and service. And the topmost service is to share Krishna consciousness, share prasadam, share books, share Harinam Sankirtan. The world is looking for it. This is a solution to all the problems. So we must try. Why did Prabhupada come to US? He was in a very nice comfort zone in Vrindavan. We discussed this point. Very happy. Everything was very jolly there. He came, in a very tough situation externally. Of course, pure devotee is transcendental, but the situations were not good in US. I mean, now we go to someone's place, even devotees' place, everything is set. How are we flying? How are we going from the airport to the home or the hotel or wherever? Where are we eating? Who's cooking prasadam or finding everything, or Govindas or whatever? Everything is set, right? But for Prabhupada, there was no Govindas, no devotee home, no nothing, no money, no resources. So he drank the poison for the benefit of humanity. So at least we can appreciate Prabhupada's gratitude, appreciate Prabhupada, what he has done, appreciate what our Guru Parampara has done, and try to be in some way and form, keep flowing that. Any other comments or questions anyone has? Okay. Yes, Sandeep Prabhu, you want to read the next verse, text 40?
पुंसा कृपयतो भद्रे सर्वात्मा प्रियते हरिः प्रीति हरो भगवती प्रिये प्रीति हरो भगवती प्रिय हम सकाराचराः तस्मादीदं गरं भुञ्जे प्राजानं स्वस्ति रस्तु मे. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. My dear wife Bhavani, my dear gentle wife Bhavani, when one performs benevolent activities for others, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari is very pleased. And when the Lord is pleased, I am also pleased, along with all other living creatures. Therefore, let me drink this poison for all the living entities may thus become happy because of me.
Want to share your reflections, Prabhu?
No, I think Lord Shiva is referring the same quote that he is Paradukha Dukhi, and he is a Supreme Vaishnava. He want to drink the poison so the entire humanity can be happy, and eventually they can perform the devotional service indirectly or indirect way. Yeah, and eventually he's making Hari also pleased, who is his own worshipable personality.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So it's basically taking permission from his wife. And how is he addressing his wife is also very, very great lesson. My dear, gentle wife, Bhavani. So often this happens in the people whom we know more closely. And I'm talking about myself. My wife is sitting next. We may sometimes take things for granted. And not address them properly. And take them for granted. To the outsiders, we will address very nicely, right? But to the people who are, we see day in, day out, we take it for granted. And I'm talking about myself, I'm not talking about anyone else. But it's a great lesson Lord Shiva is teaching here. My dear gentle wife, that as well as Radhanath Swami Maharaj mentions that the husband and wife, they are husband and wife second, but they are a servant of Krishna first. That's a very, very important point. We talk about Vaishnava Prad, but we forget that, oh, my wife is also Vaishnavi. Or my husband is also Vaishnav. So, Vaishnava Prad does not mean it only happens in the temple or when we go outside and meet with devotees. It can happen in the very core of the home while talking to the husband or wife. Even if they are not following Krishna consciousness, what to speak of their following Krishna consciousness? So a great lesson here, and just to remind my own self that we should never take anyone for granted, especially the people who we talk day in day out, and also very important lesson that the Lord Shiva is taking permission or discussing. This is a big subject matter, right? Let's see if Parvati gave permission or he said, no, you can't do it, right? But he is asking, let me drink this poison. So in one way, he's kind of asking permission. Do I have your consent to do so, right? So let's see if Mata Parvati or Bhavani allows that or says, no, why should we worry about them, right? It's their matter. Let's just sit peacefully in our home. Let's see what happens. Yes, Ekant Prabhu, please.
Thank you, Babu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Text 41. Sri Sukovacha Evam Amantriya Bhagavan Bhavanim Vishwa Bhavanaha Tadvisham Jagdhum Aribhi Prabhavo Jnanan Vamodata. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Sukadev Goswami continued, after informing Bhavani in this way, Lord Shiva began to drink the poison, and Bhavani, who knew perfectly well the capabilities of Lord Shiva, gave him her permission to do so. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So here we see again, Lord Shiva's families is like ideal Grihastha family. Lord Shiva is so many lessons just in this episode. Firstly, how he's addressing. Secondly, husband and wife should discuss things and take important decisions together. The number 3, the wife is not saying, hey, why should we interfere in their matter? Ultimately, they were the ones who were fighting. Why should we try to kind of, when the time of distress has come, they are calling us. And His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj was mentioning, now they have come. When the nectar will come, then they will forget Lord Shiva. Then they will not say, Lord Shiva, you were the ones who helped to, drink this poison. Without you, the nectar would have not come. But later they will be busy. They will not say, Lord Shiva, you helped us in such a time of upheaval, and now you take the share of the nectar first. So, which shows that when we go out to share, we should not expect that people will, will give a bed of roses. Hey, come. There will be a lot of struggle. There will be a lot of struggle. So, but why are we doing it? Why is Lord Shiva doing it? We read that in the previous verse, to please Lord Hari. So our goal also should be clear, to please Guru and Krishna, to please Srila Prabhupada. Because if we do it, if we try, Krishna will surely be pleased. Anyone else is pleased or not, but Srila Prabhupada and Krishna will be pleased. Guru will be pleased. And in that way, we will be pleased. Or because our happiness lies in Krishna's happiness. Yasmin tushte jagat tushte. When, the example is given, when we decorate the mirror, we don't get decorated. So when we serve Krishna, we naturally get happy or satisfaction. So here, great example that the wife is also equally benevolent. Sometimes, there are multiple stories. The husband wants to, give some charity. The wife will say, hey, don't give charity. No. We can't give charity. Why should we give charity? Why should we buy this Bhagavatam? Oh, 5,000 rupees, $100, whatever. No. Let's not do that. Or we already have Bhagavad Gita. We don't need Bhagavad Gita. We need 5 pairs of shoes. To buy shoes, we can buy 5 pairs. But to buy 2 Bhagavad Gitas, we can't buy 2 Bhagavad Gitas. It's too much. So the point is that husband and wife should help each other, support each other, encourage each other to grow in bhakti organically. And that's what Mata Parvati is doing here. She knows that drinking poison is no joke, right? It's not drinking herbal tea, right? It's sacrifice. It's painful. But it's to please Krishna. So husband and wife should help each other, should support each other in their Krishna conscious endeavors, and ultimately, whatever happens is good on. Like how if Srila Prabhupada's wife would have not said, when Srila Prabhupada said tea or me, she said tea, and then Prabhupada said, okay. Then he took sannyas. So ultimately, everything is transcendental arrangement. But in general, we should try our best to support. The husband should try to support the wife. The wife should try to support the husband, and try to minimize the arguments, of course, it will happen everywhere. But if we can minimize it, then bhakti will always flourish. If the arguments increase, it will certainly, because we're not like Prabhupada, we're not pure devotees. So the less arguments, the less disagreements, the less fighting, the more bhakti. Unless we are pure devotees, if someone is, but in general, this applies to many situations. So, any other comments, additions, questions on this point?
Yeah, just one comment. It's also mentioned here that Bhavani knew perfectly well the capabilities of Lord Shiva. So she knew that he could handle it, without any problem. So normally, another person, husband or wife, the wife or husband cannot do a certain beyond his capability, then we won't be asking for it. But here it's different.
Yes, that's a very good point you brought up, Prabhu. And in another purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that wife is like good intelligence. Ravana also discussed, he kind of didn't discuss, but his good wife, Mandodari, told him that don't try to mess up with Lord Ram. You don't know. You are like a, peanut in front of him. But he didn't listen to. He thought that his capabilities are more than Lord Ram. And we know what happened ultimately. So it's a very good point. So therefore, this discussion is healthy. This discussion where husband and wife discuss what is it beyond our capability, or is it something we can do? So very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Any other comments? Okay. Yes, Sudhir, do you want to read next verse?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandapana, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 8.7.42. Tata karatila kritya vyapi halahalam visham apyakshan mahadeva kripya bhuta bhava na. Therefore, Lord Shiva, who is dedicated to auspicious, benevolent work for humanity, compassionately took the whole quantity of poison in his palm and drank it. Purport. Although there was such a great quantity of poison that is spread all over the universe, Lord Shiva had such a great power that he reduced the poison to a small quantity so that he could hold it in his palm. One should not try to imitate Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva can do whatever he likes, but those who try to imitate Lord Shiva by smoking ganja and other poisonous things will certainly be killed because of such activities. So Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So here we can see that Lord Shiva has such a great power that he was able to reduce the poison which was pervaded all over the universe just to the quantity of a small, he can hold it in his palm. And we can see that some of this so-called devotees say that they are devotees of Lord Shiva, actually try to imitate by smoking and taking poisonous tobacco and all. So here Lord Shiva is actually showing us an example of how to serve Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. But the so-called devotees, they are trying to satisfy their own senses, and not only are poisoning them and their family members and the whole Mother Earth. So so here Prabhupada is clearly stating that we have to, if he is a true devotee of Lord Shiva, he should follow the footsteps of Lord Shiva by following the and worshipping Lord Krishna and Vishnu. That's my understanding, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for reading and sharing. So imagine this whole big ocean of milk. This Kurma avatar itself was 800,000 miles. So the quantity of poison was extraordinarily huge. But Lord Shiva, this is something that Prabhu was mentioning, is like nowadays we have this VLSI engineering, right? Very large scale integration. So what they do, like maybe 5 decades back, the computers were size of a big room, right? Like a big hall. But now those are in our tiny palms, right? So Lord Shiva practically did that. The big ocean, he put in a small chip, like semiconductors and whatnot these days. So he did the integration, very large scale integration, and then Kartali, Kar means hand, Tal is like the beat. So in Kartali Kritya, in his palm or chullu, we say, he got the entire in this. There's a famous picture, you all have seen this famous picture of Lord Shiva holding this poison in his palms. So he condensed the poison to just fit in this palms. That was the power of Lord Shiva. Why? Because of compassion, because of his magnanimity, because of he couldn't see the suffering of others. So we should also try our best. And yes, many people say Lord Shiva is drinking ganja or smoking, or they offer bhang to Lord Shiva, which is like alcohol or intoxication. In some temples, you won't believe, they offered different types of alcohol bottles to Lord Shiva. I'm not joking, this is all true. This is all nonsense actually. So for those who want to imitate Lord Shiva, he said, okay, Lord Shiva drank the ocean of poison. Can someone drink a little bit of rat poison or phenyl or acid? They'll die immediately just by drinking 1 or 2 drops of it, or one little quantity of it. What to speak of ocean of poison. So in short, We should not just. So why do we say it? Because people want to justify. Oh, I'm doing what I'm doing is correct because Lord Shiva used to do that. This is all ignorance. That will not please Lord Shiva. That will just bind us more in the ignorance. We should try to see the compassionate nature of Lord Shiva. How he, to protect others, was ready to sacrifice his own life, as we read in text number 39. So this is amazing. How Lord Shiva's compassion is shown in this verse. Any other comments, any questions, additions anyone has? Okay, let me show you a picture of this wonderful Lord Shiva drinking poison in his, condensed it in his palms and drinking the ocean of poison. Okay, let's now move on to the next verse. 43. Yes, Rakesh Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, sir. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, text 43. Tasyapi darshyam asa swaviryam jala kalmasha yaschakra gale neelam takcha sadhur vibhushanam. Translation by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. As if in defamation, the poison born from the ocean of milk manifested its potency by marking Lord Shiva's neck with a bluish line. That line, however, is now accepted as an ornament of the Lord. So the sloka is pretty much straightforward. After Lord Shiva, after drinking that poison, Lord Shiva neck becomes like bluish line because of the poison color. So now we all accepted as it's ornament of the Lord because Lord Shiva wanted to protect all the living entities. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Back to you.
Thank you, Rakesh Prabhu, for reading this wonderful verse. One of the names of Lord Shiva, is Nilakantha. Nilam Kantham Yasyasa. One who has a Nila is blue. You have the Nilga and Nila is blue. Nilachala. So externally, why is his throat blue? Because he drank the poison. And it is also mentioned in other places that Mata Parvati kind of didn't allow it to go down. So it's kind of there. It is a line, as an ornament on his neck. But the internal reason is that one who is always chanting the name of Kṛṣṇa, who is also the blue boy, Nila, the bluish, blackish, our Ghanasham, Sundara, Sri Hari, Sri Kṛṣṇa, Sri Rama. So he's chanting the names of that bluish, blackish boy. Therefore, because he's always chanting, his throat also has turned blue to remember Krishna. So that's the ornament of Lord Shiva, which is a sign of compassion, which is a sign of Nityam Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Okay. Any other comments or any additions anyone has? Moksha Mataji said there was a question. Okay, let's hear that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, actually it is resolved that Krishna's name chanting part only it was there. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Anything else anyone wants to add, share? ask. Sandeep Prabhu, your question is from Shiv Puran, where Lord Shiva addresses as Super Ram, Supreme Personality.
So,
We were talking about Bhagavatam, Lord Shiva. Supreme. Yes, at some we may see that as that may have written even in Bhagavatam also. If someone does not read the purport of the acharyas, one may lead to wrong conclusions. Even a devotee just reads the translations, it may lead to wrong conclusions. So therefore, we cannot understand Bhagavatam or any Purana, any scripture just by reading it. It is not a mental exercise. So we need to understand through the eyes of gurus or spiritual master, or the person Bhagavatam, like Srila Prabhupada's wonderful purports, who has put together the teachings of the previous acharyas as well, and given us the nectar. And when we understand in a holistic way, then we will be very clear about it. So we can't just take one statement from one Purana and say, oh, this is right. If we, or even in any other, sense also. Oh, Prabhupada said, eat like a duck. Okay, Prabhupada said it. It's fine. It's absolutely true. But in what situation Prabhupada said? Who were the audience at that point? And so in what situation in Shiv Purana that's mentioned? Even here it's mentioned. But what do our acharyas said, that when we're reading the prayers of demigods, it's addressing the Sadashiva, who is actually the Supreme Lord in touch with the material world, like yogurt in touch with the inoculum turns into curd. So then there is no difference from that perspective. And if one has that open mind frame, so what can we say in those situations? We say, okay, you pray to Lord Shiva. We have a devotee very, very close to us. She lives just 20 minutes. And she's also a big, worshipper of Lord Shiva. And I said, okay, and Prabhupada mentioned this, that in his Bhaktivedanta purports, okay, you pray to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, please guide us. If you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then please give pure bhakti. But if you're not the Supreme Lord, please guide us to the Supreme Lord, who is the master of all masters. And if one has that genuineness in one's heart, Lord Shiva will give him the best thing. What is that? Vrindavaranya Rati Pradam. So he will certainly do that because he is the spiritual master of the whole world. He is the best amongst devotees. He does not want to cheat. If one prays to him in a genuine way, then certainly he will give them the love of Godhead towards. And that's what he's always chanting. That's what he's always meditating upon. So we have to see from the holistic purview of the scriptures. That's my little understanding.
thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess we will pause here for today and continue tomorrow with the next verse. And tomorrow we will complete this chapter as well. And day after is Ekadashi also. Moksha Ekadashi, the advent of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so we will pause here. Kantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Samudra Leela Manthan pastime ki jai.
Jai.
Shankar Mahadev ki jai. Śrīla
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Right.
Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Right.
Hare Krishna.